I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were pagan.
Quran is mentioned, if this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
That we believe without understanding.
The brother asked a very important question, that most of the scholars say that listening to music, watching movies, and most of the television programs, they're haram. So how can we have fun? Let me tell you, brother, at the outset, that having fun is permitted in Islam as long as the fun is halal fun.
That the standard narrative has holes in it.
The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ears.
I really do think Jesus was crucified and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean, that is, after all, why they crucified him.
Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Please invite your friends. And as you see today, our chat is closed because we don't want to give YouTube any excuse to any excuse. You know what I'm talking about. You know the thing. So, I know many, they like to come and chat, but this is really not my interest. Our interest here is to learn. You know, I saw many videos made by Muslims. As an example, our sister Ali Dawa, she made a video saying that Islam is against homosexuality. And, the Muslims, they keep saying that, but in reality, there is a huge number of homosexuals in the Middle East, specifically in the center of Islam, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar. The caliphates, if you have my book, Sex in Allah, you will see that all the caliphate, all the family of Muhammad, almost the town of Mecca, they were homosexual. Homosexuality was very part of the lifestyle of the Arab in the Arabian Peninsula. So what this is about, Islam is against homosexuality. And if the Muslims are against homosexuality, so why always they vote for Democratic Party? Why Muslims they vote for Joe Biden? Why Muslims they vote for the one who want to do abortion? Why they vote for somebody sponsor 100% homosexuality? So you are against it, but you vote for it? I will show you some examples of Muslims who try to justify what they do from both sides. Muslims who they are homosexual and Muslims who they are not homosexual. And how the Muslims who they are not homosexual try to refute those who they are Muslims homosexual.
Contradictions have come to govern my life. As a queer person raised Muslim, contradictions of belief systems almost tore me apart. And my mother, more than anybody I know, has embodied the contradictions that follow me everywhere I go. In the same breath, she is the most vociferous critic of my gender nonconformism, as well.
All right. If we go, we will find tons of those videos posted by liberals, for sure, of Muslims who they are gay, and they are explaining that Islam is not against homosexuality. Actually, I found a video which summarizes a bunch of them. Instead of going and watching one by one, we can, a few of them. So this is a video, but they put like let us say a fog in the top of the video, so you don't see the person. And they want you to see the person. The Muslims, they are trying to protect Islam. So here the argument is Muslims saying,
Gomorrah is a story about a town that was doing horrible acts of rape, acts of incest. Not a condemnation of same-gender loving relationships.
It wasn't homosexuality that these people were involved in, it was acts of rape.
How is this aggressive sexual assault in any way or form analogous to the legitimate human need for intimacy, affection, and companionship for
So here they are talking about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Quran. But we know that this is a story Muhammad he took from the Bible. Now somebody will say, well, as long as the Quran approved the story, that means Islam is against homosexuality. Wrong. Muhammad, he takes stories for everybody before him. If you remember, I saw a video, maybe we should make a video about it just for a laugh, where the daddy was making fun of Lut. He is offering his daughters, but exactly the same thing in the Quran. Lut, he offered his daughters for them instead of his guest. You know, the Quran is a book of contradiction. Islam is a religion of contradiction, and Islam is a religion of confusing. So if Islam is against homosexuality, then how Muhammad himself, he practiced it? How Muhammad himself, he act like when a Muslim today, they look down at somebody, he's a homosexual. How you notice he's a homosexual? He put eyeliner, he put makeup. He tried to dress like a woman, right? But Muhammad, he did all of those things. Muhammad, he put eyeliner. Muhammad, he loved to add too much perfume. Muhammad, he said, I never received Quran, revelation from Allah, except in the clothing of Aisha. And the Muslim, they try to cover it up. They say to you, oh, this is the house of Aisha. But that will make it more stupid. Why? Because if this is true, that Muhammad, he never received revelation except in the house of Aisha, that means he never received revelation in the house of Khadija. That means all revelation he received before, it was a fraud. So the hadith says, Thawb Aisha. Thawb Aisha. Thawb is a dress. As simple as that. Have nothing to do with housing. Since when Thawb is a house? You know? You can go right now, open dictionary, and you will find that Thawb mean clothes. And each time the word thawb appear in the hadith, you will see it says clothing, garment. You see garment, clothing. See, this is the same word, thawb, 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 thawb. The second you say that Muhammad was receiving Quran in the thawb of Aisha, the Muslims, they say this is not the clothes. This is the same word appear all over the hadith. Thawb, thawb. Thawb. See it? The one in black, the dark one. But the second you say that the Prophet said to his daughter, it is his fake daughter, by the way. And actually, this is a proof that Muhammad, again, he have a weird sexuality. He married his daughter at the age of 10. Not only he married Aisha at the age of 6, he married his daughter Fatima at the age of 10. And then she died at the age of 18. After Umar al-Khattab, he caused her death. But if we go and read the hadith, let us see. Here we go. Here it says, فَإِنَّ الْوَحْيَ لَمْ يَأْتِنِي وَأَنَا فِي ثَوْبِ إِمْرَأَ إِلَّا عَائِشَةَ. You go to the Muslim translation. Here, imagine here they change even the word thawb. Suddenly it became a bed. Muhammad saying, I never received revelation except in the bed of Aisha. But the word thawb is thawb. You know, is a dress. And actually, there is one of those hadith in one of the versions, Muslim translation. The Muslims, by mistake, they translate it correctly, and it says the clothes of Aisha. Let me see if I can find it. In the English language, they say he is a cross-dresser, right? So why Muhammad wearing the clothes of Aisha? Let us see. I'm just trying to find the hadith. You see, I don't prepare for things. I just go live and then I find it right away in the spot for you. Let us see. We'll try this one. Here it says, Aisha, she said that the wife of the Prophet and Uthman, blah, 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 they came, etc. And okay. And here it says, he was laying down in bed, wearing the cover of Aisha. I mean, have you ever heard of somebody wearing a cover? I mean, how you can wear a cover? Cover is a cover, not a clothes. The hadith says murt, which is a clothing for women. And the translation itself says wearing. And then you need to ask yourself, why a man he wear women clothing for any reason? And not only that, the hadith here is, showing that Muhammad obviously is doing something not right. Why? This is why she is reporting the hadith. Muhammad wearing the women clothes, and this is a very wide clothing, because you might say to yourself, well, Aisha is, small. This is like very wide, very comfortable. So Muhammad wearing it in the top of him, and then one by one, the caliphate, one by one, later they became caliphate. Abu Bakr came, Umar came, and Muhammad is showing his meat, exposing what a man should not expose. And Aisha, this is different hadith, I will show it to you. And Aisha herself is sitting in a way, should not be exposed to strangers. So if we read together here, it says, he gave a permission to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr is the father of Aisha, so no problem. He entered. He was like that what? What is the problem? He was wearing the clothes of Aisha. Why that need to be reported if it was not something abnormal? Why Aisha says he was like that? And then Umar, he came. And Muhammad was still like that. So Umar asked for permission and he entered. And he gave a permission, he entered. And he was like that. And then when Uthman, he came, Muhammad, he told Aisha to cover herself up properly, which means Aisha, she was exposing her meat, her skin. And he himself, he changed the way he is sitting and obviously the way he is dressing. But when Uthman came, Uthman, he adjusted the way he is sitting and asked Aisha to adjust her covering, to put cover, to cover herself. She said to him, how come Omar came, you did not say anything? Omar is a stranger. Abu Bakr, her father, no problem. But still, Abu Bakr is a man, Muhammad is a man. Why when Uthman came, you changed? He said Uthman is a person, the angels will be, shy in front of him. So how I will not be? So why the angels will be shy from Uthman, but they will not be shy from Abu Bakr? And shy from what exactly? What Muhammad was doing exactly? This translation here is messed up, so I will try to find a different translation. Okay, let's see this one. He entered in that state. You see here, they don't show you in translation, they hide it. What state exactly? What state? It says here, look at this. He was laying down in the bed, covered with the bed sheet. Look out at the lies. Suddenly now it's covered by the bed sheet. In the previous translation, he was wearing. Have you ever heard of somebody wearing bed sheet? Now it's covered. Let's try to find different translation. And look, here in Arabic it says, labisa, labisan, labisan, wearing. The Quran says, وَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ لِبَاسًا وَرِيشًا. Libas is a clothing. This is not a sheet. So here it says the same. Muhammad, they enter upon him. And here it says, look here. They exposed themselves. They made a mistake. Decency is a mistake in Islam. It says here he was laying down in the bed wearing Aisha woolen shirt. Do you see it? Wearing Aisha woolen shirt. And this is why Aisha is reporting, because this is not normal thing the Arab they do. I mean, men, their homosexuality, yes, but they don't dress like women. Usually the one who dress like the women is the one who is, you know, when I enter a chat room in Paltalk, I don't know what the heck is that. And I saw one in Arabic saying that he is the bomb looking for someone in the top. And one is saying I am a top and I'm looking for a bomb. I could not understand what is that, but then later, you know, okay, now we get it. So the one is in the bomb is the one who wear women clothing, and that is Muhammad. And this is why Aisha reporting it, because it's something strange. And you will notice Muhammad is practicing that, and he have no shame. Enter Uthman, he arrived. And the excuse is Muhammad saying, well, Uthman is a person, the angels will be shy in front of him. So what Muhammad was doing? In Arabic it says, فَزَعْتَ, you get terrified when Uthman came. You changed the way. فَزَعْتَ, like you jump from your place. He said, well, Uthman is a modest man. Uthman is a modest man, and I feared if I gave him permission to come while I was in that state, he would not tell me what he needs. Another way, he will leave. So what Muhammad was doing, it was not modest. Uthman is a modest. Muhammad is not a modest man, and he was wearing his wife's clothing. And as you see, the hadith is sahih, because they will say to you, this is weak. And they will say to you, this is fake. And this is the hadith number. And the grade is sahih. So we prove that Muhammad, he wear women clothes. Muhammad, he pee like women. Why? Let us find the hadith. And this is again proof that Muhammad was the bomb. He is the female person. You will notice that Muhammad is acting weird and he is doing something. Only women they do. This is Sahih. This is Sahih. This is Sahih. All of this is Sahih. Okay, what is Sahih? Muhammad being like a woman. He always be like women. He never be like man. Very rare Muhammad is being like a man. Look what the hadith is saying. This is not me. Abdul Rahman, blah, 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 reported from. He came out, blah, 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 okay, and then he says, and then he urinated. Then we said, look at him. He urinating as women does. What does that mean exactly? Muhammad, he sat down when he urinate. He never urinate standing up. He have to sit down. He left his dress and he urinate. Is that a coincidence? So now we have him wearing woman clothing, and now we have in him being like women, and you will see that the men there, they were like, they are the one is surprised. I mean, those are his people, and those are the Muslims. Amr ibn al-As and etc. with him, the hadith will say to you that the Prophet, he was trying to be a Jew. Why? The Jew, they are very careful in the way they pee, so they don't want any drop of pee to touch their clothing or their body. But the Jews, they pee inside a container, not like what Muhammad he do. They got a container and they pee in it. It's like today, you know, when you have those new standing pee in the wall for men. So they have a container. This way the pee will be contained and will not split all over. But if you sit down, that will not make the pee far away from you. Actually, it's going to return more to you because you are so close to the ground. So why Muhammad is peeing like a woman? No explanation. This is there. They are trying to give you their opinion. Why they are trying to do that? Is he trying to copy the Jews? But the Jews don't do that. He pee like women. And this is Sahih hadith. The Prophet, he put eyeliner. In the old days, eyeliner is used for as a medicine. If somebody have a problem with his eyes, but this is as a medicine. You don't put it all the time. But the Prophet of Islam, he used it every day. And let us find some hadith. So if Muhammad was sick and he is using it, that will be temporary, not will be every day. Will be, okay, well, you know, he is his eyes have a problem, and this is the medicine they have at a time. So I will say, okay, well, not, I mean, you know, that is the reason. The reason is clear. But the guy, he do it all his life. Let us see here. We could not find the first hadith. Let us see different hadith. And you know, and then the Muslim, they start doing as he do, because you know, remember the Muslim, they follow the steps of their prophet, right? Here we go. Ibn Abbas reported that the Prophet saying, apply an autonomy, for it is clear the sight and make their grow. Make hair grow. Listen carefully. Muhammad is using the eyeliner to make the eyelashes, if I'm saying the word correctly, grow. Muhammad, he liked to have a pretty eyelashes. He wanted to grow. It to clear your sight and make the hair grow. And he asserted that the Prophet had a aquarium case from which he applied every day in each eye 3 times. 3 times a day, in the morning, noontime, and afternoon. So Muhammad, he want to keep the eyeliner always in his eyes. Always. It's a must. To make his eyes look nicer, and he claimed that will grow the eyelashes. Well, isn't it what this woman they do? And why a prophet of God, he need to put eyeliner anyway? Why he care even for such a thing? This is not temporary medicine. This is something he do every day. 3 times a day. It's a must. It's like his food. 3 meals. You see it? 3 times a day. Trying to grow his eyeliner. What about Muhammad? Shaving hair body. You see, for some in the West or some other places, men, they do shave their body hair, and it's not a big deal for them. In the Middle East, this is a big shameful thing to do. And remember, I'm Middle Eastern, and we know our culture, so don't tell me that's not true. That's why I was laughing at maybe hijab when he shaved his chest, if you remember. He have videos of him, he have hair in his chest. When he went to the Chinese embassy, he took off his t-shirt, there's no hair there. Why a prophet of God? He care really for taking hair from his body, shaving all his body. Let us see. We're trying to find the hadith. I hope you are being patient with me, because as you see, we are trying to find reference in the spot. In the old days, they used to make sugar. You know, they make sugar from syrup, anything. And until now, actually, women in the Middle East, they use sugar. They add with it some substance like lemon, etc. They use very gluey, it's like a glue material, and they put it over their skin, and then they pull it up fast, and to take the hair off. In the hadith it says that the Prophet he used an nawra, so he shaved his body from the hair. And we are trying to find the hadith in English, otherwise we have to use the Arabic one. Until now we did not find the hadith. Ah, here we go, we found one. And the Muslim, they will say to you, this one is da'if, but I can show you in different places, says very strong. It was narrated from Umm Salama, the wife of Muhammad, that when he would apply it, apply what? The chapter of applying hair removal, chemical. He began with his private parts, coating it with hair removing chemical. And then he will do, his wife, she will do the remain of his body. So Muhammad, he shaved all his body hair, totally. Again, as I said, this is for Middle Eastern. This is a shameful, even now. This is not like, you know, you might say, well, now Muslims don't follow Muhammad. Nobody do it in the Middle East. The second you do that, no woman will marry you. If a woman, she noticed that there's a guy, he is shaving his chest, no. There's something fishy about the guy. So why Muhammad is shaving all the hair of his body? Until now, we are talking about things, behavior of a person. Still, there's no partners. Let us try to find partners. Muhammad, he used to spend the day with Salman al-Farisi. To the point the wives of Muhammad, as Aisha reported, she was jealous from Salman al-Farisi. Let me find the hadith. Let's see if we can find it here in English. What the hadith is saying simply that Salman al-Farisi, the Persian, he was a very strong man, he's very good looking, and he was spending the whole night with Muhammad, to the point the wives of Muhammad, they were jealous for how long Muhammad, he stayed with Salman al-Farisi, and he stayed specifically all night. Let us see if I can find the hadith in English. I can find the hadith in Arabic very easy. But we want the English one. Here we go. We found in Arabic, not in English, but it's okay, what we can do. Reported from Aisha that Salman al-Farisi, he used to sit with the Prophet, and they stayed together all the time, alone. وينفرد به بالليل حتى كاد يغلبنا على رسول الله. He spent all the night with him, even to the point he used to sit with him, which means Muhammad sat with Salman al-Farisi more than he sat with us all night. All night. Let us use Google translation. This is the book. This can be found, this hadith, in the Sunni books and the Shia books, and this is a Shia book. It's called Biharul Anwar. This is equal to Al-Bukhari for the Shia. Volume number 22, page number 291. Let us translate to English. Actually, 391. 391 here. Okay, the page number. And here it says, from the authority of Aisha, she said, Salman al-Farisi, he used to stay with Muhammad alone. Translation is not too much accurate, but it's okay. Which he had alone with at the night until almost he overpowered us. So Muhammad, he spent his time with Salman al-Farisi all night. Well, somebody might say, well, what's wrong? They are friends. They are not. Salman al-Farisi, he came as a slave. Why, what Muhammad, he have a need of him? What exactly his position there? Why he became... And even Muhammad, he said that Salman is one of the people of the house, which means he is equal to the family of Muhammad. Equal to them. How Muhammad, he got that honor? What does that mean exactly? Then we find more evidence of Muhammad the queer. Jibreel. Jibreel the angel is Dahya al-Kalbi. Dahya al-Kalbi was the most handsome boy or youth, or let's say young man, in the tribe of Quraysh. This is why Muhammad decided to send him to be his messengers to the Roman, because he is the most handsome. But the funny is that Dahya al-Kalbi is a person he stay all night with Muhammad too. And when somebody come to the house of Muhammad and he see Dahya at night in a time which is not proper to be alone, Muhammad, he claimed that this is Jibreel. This is Jibreel. Ibn Abbas, he come to the house of Muhammad. And he went inside and he slept. He's a kid. He smuggled himself inside. Nobody noticed him. And here you ask yourself, I mean, how a kid he enter a room and Muhammad did not notice that he is in the room, even if you are like 10 years old. And then Muhammad, he said something very strange to the kid. He said to him, my love, did you see anything? Did you see anyone here with me? When Muhammad, he noticed that this kid, Ibn Abbas, he was there, he asked him, how long you are here? Let me see if I can find the hadith. He said to him, for how long you are here? He said, like an hour. Muhammad, he said to him, my love. And I don't know why he said my love. Did you see anyone with me? What? Why Muhammad is worried? The kid, he said, yeah, I saw with you a man. Let me see if I can find the hadith. I will find it for sure, but the problem is to find in English. Here we go. Let us see if we can find it in English. Let me try. Let me see. I will try to find this one in English. Let us see here. Well, look like we don't have it in English. So we have to use Google Translation. We will show you another hadith too. That is, use Google. This is the name of the book. It's coming weird in English, but this is how it is. Page number 233 from At-Tabari. At-Tabari. Okay? So this is not a joke. And here it says, he mentioned that the vision of Ibn Abbas, which means Ibn Abbas, he saw Gabriel. How he saw Gabriel? He said he saw him twice. Where he saw him twice? He saw him in the house of Muhammad. It's mentioned that in the Tirmidhi, Abu Amr, he said that he saw a man with the Prophet. He did not know him. The Prophet, God bless him and grant him peace, said, "Did you see any man with me?" The translation is not accurate. The kid, he said, yes. Muhammad, he said to him, "This is Jibreel." And then Muhammad, he claimed that you will lose your eye vision. And the Muslim, they claim that this guy, when he almost died, he lost his eye vision. But this is very normal. We are dying. So Muhammad claimed that if you see Jibreel, you will become blind. But nothing happened to this kid. And now the Muslim, they're saying, at the end of his life, the guy, he lost his vision. But let me find you something more about this. Here we go. This is the book. It's called Al-Mustadraku ala Sahihain by An-Naysaburi. Volume number 4, page number 692. Hadith number or chapter number 2570 and hadith number 6341. 6341. So now what we would do, because we don't have English translation, we are going to use Google Translation as usual. And by the way, this is a Sahih hadith. Translate. So here it says that Abu al-Abbas, he sent his son, which means the son of al-Abbas, he sent his son to the Prophet, and then he slept behind him. Why the kid is sleeping behind Muhammad? The kid, he went inside, he slept behind him. That's mean Muhammad is sleeping. Or he's laying down. Because how you sleep behind him? He slept behind him, and a man was with the Prophet. And then Muhammad, he said to him, "My love." Did you see anyone? The translation here is not coming correctly. So, and the man was with the Prophet, and the Prophet, he said to him, "My love, not my family. Did you see anyone with me?" He said, "Yes, I saw a man." He said, "Oh, okay. This is Gabriel." In different hadith, Ibn Abbas, he says that he saw someone look like Dahil Kalbi. So it was Dahya al-Kalbi for sure who was there. And then Muhammad, he said to him, this is Gabriel. He did not admit that this is Dahya al-Kalbi. I mean, why in the world the angel Jibreel will come in the look of Dahya al-Kalbi? You tell me the reason. What is exactly that? And Ibn Abbas, he saw Dahya al-Kalbi. Muhammad, he claimed this is Gabriel. Let us see if I can give you more reference. I mean, there is endless reference. You know, we can show really tons and tons. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we can find more later. But I mean, this is enough. There's tons of tafsir. It mentioned that in even Ibn Kathir. It mentioned that in At-Tabari. It mentioned that Sharh al-Bukhari. It mentioned that in I mean, we can get tons of reference about that. Let us see here. See, I have to read the whole book to find exactly what, it's not easy as some people think, like I just go and find it in 2 seconds. Like I remember reading it, but what exactly, what page, this is the issue, like it's not that easy, even though for you get the reference in 2 seconds usually, but it's not that easy really. I have to scan my brain and scan the books in front of me. But anyway, as you see, Gabriel, he come in the image of Dahya al-Kalbi. Muhammad, he spent the night with al-Farisi. Aisha, she is jealous from Salman al-Farisi. But there is something more horrible. If we go and look for more hadith, you will find the Muslim, they mention to you a hadith about Muhammad saying, kill the one who is in the top and kill the one who is in the bottom, which is about people practicing homosexuality. Do you remember when Sheikh Uthman, he says the hadith says Hassan, and this is Dar es-Salam is not accepted? When David Wood, he went to Sheikh Uthman and he show him hadith, and then he says there it says Hassan, this is Dar es-Salam is not accepted. Well, this is a hadith nobody can support. Nobody, even though it says Hassan. They will say to you, this is Dar es Salaam saying that. This is the publishing. It's not even scholars saying that. But for me, I will take it. I'm not going to be hypocrite like the Muslims and say, oh, this is not accepted resource or source. It is not true. It is invalid. But who said that a person who is practicing homosexuality is not going to say something against homosexuality? He do it behind doors and in public. He said the opposite. How many even people who claim to be Christian or priest, they speak good in the church, and the second day we find that they are child molester like Muhammad. This is very, very well-known behavior of many pervert people. So it is possible that Muhammad, he said that, but that will not change anything. Muhammad dressed like women, Muhammad put eyeliner, Muhammad pee like a woman, and Muhammad kiss men. And men kiss him down his belly. The hadith in front of us, as you see, it says Sahih. The Muslim, they will say Sahih for you in chain. That means Sahih. That means there's nothing wrong with it. It says here that a person, his name, he was from Al-Ansar. While the Prophet, he was talking to somebody, etc., some people. No, so somebody was talking to some people, and Muhammad, he came, and he started tickling him. He started tickling him from his behind and his ribs, down his ribs, with a stick. Then the guy, he said to Muhammad, let me do retaliation. Muhammad said, take retaliation. He said, you are wearing a shirt, but I am not. So the guy is topless. The Prophet then, he raised his shirt, and the man embraced him and began to kiss down his belly, not his side. Kashh is from the belly and down. And then he said, this is what I wanted, O Messenger of Allah. Imagine if we are talking about Abraham or Moses or any of those who they are known to be prophets. He come to a group of people, and then he start tickling a man to make him laugh. And then the man, he is not wearing a t-shirt. He said to Muhammad, well, I'm going to do the same to you, Prophet. Let me take retaliation. Muhammad, sure, go ahead. He said, but I'm wearing a shirt, you are not. Sorry, I'm not wearing a shirt, you are wearing a shirt. So Muhammad, he left up his shirt to the man. And then what the man does? Did he tickle Muhammad? Did he touch him with his fingers like tickle him? The guy, he started kissing his body. And he was saying, this is what I wanted. Some, they might understand the hadith saying that Muhammad saying this is what I wanted. It's really confusing here who said that. But most likely it is the man saying to Muhammad, this is what I wanted. So he enjoyed it very much. Here we ask ourselves, what is the point of this? A man is a prophet of God, tickling somebody, he is naked, topless. The man, he want to take retaliation. The prophet, he take his shirt up. The man, he start kissing him down his belly. The prophet is not upset. Is happy with it. And the man is so happy with that. That's not alone. We have tons of reference. We have endless stories. Let us see something else. Muhammad, he loved to grow his hair very long. He cannot live without it. He liked to grow his hair. And he grew it so long. And here it says to his shoulders. In fact, it past his shoulders, go down to his back. And you will notice that the Muslims are reporting this because not everybody do that. Muhammad is doing that. So he put eyeliner. He liked to have long hair. He put a lot of perfume. He dressed like a woman. He pissed like a woman. And he being kissed by men down his belly. What else? Let us see. I'm trying to find the hadith, which is very nice actually. Later, when you download the video, you can cut the time we are waiting for to find reference. Let me see this one. Muhammad is in love with Osama. Now the Muslim, they will say to you, this is daif. This is daif. Salama, but this is the same book about killing the gays. The same book. How the same book can be da'if? I mean, this is how stupid this religion is. And da'if, by the way, is accepted, is not rejected. Osama stumbled at the thread, like in the front of the house, and he cut his face. The Messenger of Allah removed the harm, between two brackets, the blood, from him. But I was repulsed by that. And he started to suck the blood and remove it from his face. The hadith, it says yamujjahu. Yamujjahu, it's mean to kiss with like you make a sound, you know, like you are like, you know, like, yeah, it's like he's excited. Here it says to remove the blood, but nowhere in here it says the blood. It says that he was caught. And already he removed the blood. He removed the harm. He removed the blood, even between the bracket. So why he is sucking the guy? Muhammad, he said, which is extremely weird. He said, if Osama were a girl, I would have adorned him and dressed him until I married him off. Why Muhammad want to say to a boy, if Osama was a girl, I would love to dress him, take care of him by dressing him like a girl until I get him married. But this is a boy. So you care for Osama if he is a girl, but you don't care for Osama as a boy? Muhammad, he see the boy as a girl. Otherwise, I change any Muslim to tell me what is the reason. Why Muhammad imagining the boy? Why he wish that he is a girl? And what is the point of sucking his face? More issues. If you are a person who can draw, you can draw. You can make an art story about the guy putting eyeliner, putting lipstick, putting perfume. He cannot live without it. Making his hair long, wearing his wife's clothes, and when he go out to pee, he pee like a woman. You know, men, they kiss him down his belly. He suck the faces of kids. And there's a hadith about him sucking the penis of a boy. But I'm not going to go there. I will let it go. But there is something goes way more weird with Muhammad. There's a person, his name is Zuhair. Let me see if I can find the hadith of Zuhair. Zuhair. Let us find maybe this one now. There's a hadith about Muhammad sucking the tongue of Ali. But I don't know if I can find the hadith in English. I cannot find it in English. This is the book of As-Sirah Al-Halabiyya, volume number 1, page number 432. And here the story is saying that when the mother of Ali, she gave birth to him, and they called him Ali, Muhammad, he gave him his tongue. He put his tongue inside his mouth. And he was sucking it until he slept. Second day, the kid, he refused any women to suckle him because he wanted the tongue of Muhammad. And Muhammad, he did it again. He gave him his tongue and he slept. And by the way, the Muslims are not mentioning this because of a shame. They are proud. English translation. Al-Halabi biography, volume number 1, page number 432. So he gave him his tongue. First, by the way, he put his saliva on him. And he was sucking his tongue. And then they say that Ali, he slept after that. And the second day, the same thing. When she gave birth to him, he called him Ali. He spat in his mouth. Why anyone want to spit in the mouth of a baby? Then he start sucking his tongue. And he continue sucking it until he fell asleep. She said, when was next day, we asked him, we tried to nurse Ali, but he did not accept any women breast. So we called Muhammad, and Muhammad, he did the same. He put his tongue in the mouth of the kid, and he was sucking his tongue. Let's find more reference. This is endless, isn't it? Let's see if we can find here. I mean, we have more than enough about Muhammad, but let us go even for more. There's a story of Zuhair. Let me see if I can find it. I forgot. I mentioned Zuhair. I did not mention his reference. Zahir, sorry. Let me see if I can find the hadith in English. See, this is the problem. You know, what we have in English right now is almost zero compared to what we have in Arabic. But we can use Google Translation as usual. This is the book of Ibn Hajar, volume number 2, page number 452. And this is a Sahih hadith. Those things will tell us the behavior and the tradition of what is called the Prophet. His tradition is to be kissed by men, to rub their body against his body. So what this guy he did, he came to Muhammad, he turned his back to Muhammad, his ass to Muhammad, and he was rubbing his body with Muhammad. Let's read together. It says here, there's a guy, his name is Zahir. Let's see if this is a page we want. Okay, here we go. And Zahir is not a good looking, by the way. The Prophet, he came to him, and this man, Zahir, he was selling something. And he did hug him from behind. Who is hugging who? Muhammad is hugging the man from behind. The man, he said, who is this? Who is doing this? And then he turned his face to see who is that, who is hugging him from behind. He found the Prophet. The man, he says, this is what turned me on. And then the Prophet, he says, continue, supposedly he's joking. He says, who wanna buy a slave for me? He means this person who is he is hugging from his behind. And then it says here, وَجَعَلَ هُوَ يُلْصِقُ ظَهْرَهُ بِصَدْرِ النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. And this man, he start attaching his chest, his body, sorry, his back, to the chest of the Prophet. He's laying down, laying back on the Prophet. Like, you know, when a girl, she wanna play with her husband. And then he said to the Prophet, do you think I am Qasid? Qasid, which means nobody wanna sleep with me, nobody wanna buy me, you wanna offer me as a slave? Qasid, Qasid, you can say it to a girl, she is not like a woman, nobody wanna marry her. So he's saying to him, do you think I am that kind? Let us use Google Translation. The reference, Al-Isaba, Ibn Hajar, then translation here coming weird. Part number 2, page number 452. And here you will see the rest of the story. How this man was in the market, selling or buying. And then the Prophet, he came from his back. He embraced him from behind. And the man, he said, who is this? Then he turned his face around and he recognized the Prophet. The Prophet, he said, who want to buy a slave from me? Supposedly he's joking. The man, he said, the translation here is really coming very weird. Do you think I am not like, as I told you, like Cass said, like he is, nobody want to take me, nobody want to have me, what's wrong with you? You know, and supposedly both of them, they are now joking. And then Muhammad, on this guy, he started rubbing his chest. I'm trying to find where the translation is gone in the English. I think the translation is coming really is gone. Maybe the only way to do it correctly, if we take a part of the translation part by part. Let me use Google Translation. Give me a second. See, for me, I don't care for the Google Translation, but I'm just trying to help you so you can see what I am seeing. So if we take it from here, here it says, because I'm really surprised how come the translation is not coming here. This part here says where he did attach his back to the chest of the Prophet. If you use Google Translation again, let's try again here. Yeah, I don't see it. So we will take this part in Arabic and we will post it in Google Translation. Here we go. See, when you take the sentence alone, the translation comes better. And he made him stick his back to the chest of the Prophet. Do you see it? So I just copy from the Arabic, which is not shown in the English translation when you translate the whole page. I copied this part, and I will do it again in front of you. I did copy longer part of it. Here we go. This is when Muhammad, he said, who want to buy this slave from me? And he made his back stick to the chest of the Prophet. May Allah pray on him and pray for him. And he say, did you find me depressed to find somebody, a partner? The Prophet, he said, no, it's not alright. But here you ask yourself, what kind of a prophet of God, he go in the street and he hugged people from behind, and then the man, he stuck his body on Muhammad. Muhammad is still now in the back. All this conversation, Muhammad is still holding the guy from his back. The guy, he like it. Muhammad, he enjoy it. And the man, he lean his back all the way on the chest of Muhammad, which means he's making his head going in his shoulder. Is that a behavior of a straight man? You can say this is normal. For me, I find it very abnormal. A man is holding a guy from his back. That's normal for you? And then you stick your back to his chest and you lean your head in his shoulder. Is that normal? Are you used to it? Then if we go in the Quran, we will find that not a single time in the Quran it says to punish gays. Instead it's saying hurt them. Hurt them. How come there's a very harsh punishment in Islam for fornication, but there is no punishment for male gays? Those who do it, it says hurt them, and if they repent, you let them go. A Muslim might say to you, well, hurt them mean punishment. Let us see what is the punishment exactly we are talking about. This is a chapter 3. Actually, let's go to a different verse, better. Chapter 4 is what I wanted, actually. Verse number 16. If two persons did adultery, the Quran translation is saying, but the truth is, there's no man and there's no women here. It's about two men. This is why it says in Arabic, وَالَّذَانِ. Ladhani is for two males. If you change the translation, right away you will see the fraud. Change it. Let us go to Biktal. And if two of you were guilty, therefore, guilty of what? I mean, this translation is even more horrible. Change the translator. Mawdudi. Both of them punish them. What the heck is that? Punish who? Who? What they did exactly? All the translation is false. It says change the translator. Let us see Shakir. As for two who are guilty of indecency. What the heck is that? What indecency? I mean, do you see how this issue making big problem for the Muhammadan trying to hide the stupidity? Muhammad Asad and punish them both. Both who? Those who you find them guilty. Guilty of what? What's wrong with the Muhammadan? Change the translator. Mubarak Kuki, whatever his name. If two persons among you commit illegal sexual intercourse, is that what it says really? We change him. Khattab, Khattab, the same. Let us go to the interpretation and you will see how they lie. Chapter 4, verse number 16. And this is the Islamic interpretation. I hope the site is not down. It's taking time to open. Here you will notice how the Muslims, they try to hide what they have in their books. Chapter 4, verse number 16. And by the way, if the Muslim, they say this verse is about a man and a woman only, that means there's no verse in the Quran. All of it is about homosexuality. For me, even better to prove my point. It says here, And when two of you commit what? Adultery or homosexuality, intercourse. Punish them both with insult and beating with sandals. But if they repent for homosexuality act, just let them go. And here he says, obviously here what's meant, that homosexuality is a fornication. And what is the punishment for it? You beat them with your sandals. This is Tafsir al-Jalalain. We can go to Ibn Abbas. We can go to Ibn Kathir. There is no penalty in Islam for homosexuality. As you see, beat them with sandals. Beat them with sandals. Let us go to Ibn Kathir. All right, this is Ibn Kathir. Ibn Abbas said from Jubair, he said the punishment include cursing, shaming them, and beating them with sandals. And then here he says this is abrogated by stoning, but Muhammad, Quran never say anything about that. This is something later the Muslim they add. There's not a one time in the Quran it says you do punish homosexual. It says hurt. And how? Beat them by sandals. Why the Quran make a big deal if a woman she sleep with a man, but it's not a big deal if a man sleep with a man? Why the Quran never make a punishment, harsh punishment as he do for fornication? If you are a single person, we will whip you back 80 times. Some they do 100 times. But this is a homosexual act. And what is the penalty? We hurt them by beating them by sandals. This is the order of Allah. Then the Muslims, after Muhammad he died, they claim that Muhammad he ordered to kill the homosexual. Why Allah never said in the Quran such a punishment? Why he did not add it? I find there is no solution for this except that Muhammad himself, he was a homosexual. And all his friends, they were homosexual. And he don't want them to run away from his religion. And he don't want to expose himself in the same time. Because if he come with a punishment, they will say to him, what about you? If we go and check about homosexual in town, we will find that Muhammad, he used to have homosexuals staying all day long in his home. Homosexual in the house of Ali, homosexual in the house of Umar, homosexual in the house of the Prophet, homosexual in the house of every caliphate. Why they are there? How much the society is full of them. Kick them out from your houses. But Muhammad himself, he have homosexual in his house. Umar, he have homosexual in his house. as you see in front of you. All those hadith says that there is homosexual in the house of the caliphate of Muhammad. They are all over the town. And this is a hadith we mentioned before, as long we are passing by, about a bunch of Muslims. They came to the Caliphate Uthman and they were complaining that the guy in front of them, the Imam, is a homosexual. And he is tempting them by his ass. So he said, the Muslim who came to the Caliphate, he said, we are afraid of being sinful in following him. Uthman, he said, well, prayer is the best of deeds. So do the good deed when people do good deed. And don't do the bad deed. Avoid it when people do bad deeds. But look what happened here. It says here, we are afraid of this guy because he's a leader of al-fitna. Fitna means temptation, trial, affliction, etc. So how in the world the Muslim, they are facing a trial, being tempted by a guy, he's a gay, just because he pray in front of them, unless they are gays too? How you can be tempted by the ass of a man unless you are a person who like ass of men? That's what the hadith is saying. They are afraid to be sinful, trials, affliction. And then the guy, he says, well, look like the caliphate, he is forcing us to pray behind him. So he said, as Zuhri said, in our opinion, one should not offer salat behind a feminine person unless there is no alternative. And this is al-Bukhari. Let us continue. Homosexual in the house of the Prophet, as you see in front of you, sitting with the wives of Muhammad. All this time they are there. What happened now? Because people, they start talking about Muhammad and his behavior. Muhammad want to show him that he is not like that. So kick them from your house. Then Umar, he kicked one from his house. Muhammad, he kicked one from his house. Uthman, he kicked one from his house. So look like they are all over the houses. Shall we continue, or we have enough for today? Let us show you. Let us go to Umar ibn al-Khattab, the most close friend to Muhammad. I will show you something. You will die laughing. This is a book. It's called Fathul Bari. Ibn Hajar, very big, famous scholar. And Aisha, she asked a homosexual. His name is Anna. Can you lead us to a woman? But she is asking about a male, not a woman. Can you lead us? Let me see if I can find it here. Actually, in this reference here, it says that a gay, he used to come always to the house of Muhammad, and Muhammad, he never have a problem with that. Until one day, a person, his name is Khalid, he said something very insulting. So Muhammad, he said to his wife, from now on, you don't let this guy to enter your house. And he called him Khabith, not because he is a homosexual, because he is like, you know, not a good person. He's playing games. He's saying lies. Let us see. Okay. I can share this hadith, but I wanna find the other one. Give me a second here. We want something else. Very, very weird. Here we go, I found it. The same book, Fath al-Bari, Ibn Hajar, volume number 9, page number 292, or 392. It says, Aisha, she said, she asked a homosexual in the city of Medina, can you lead us to a woman so we can marry her to Abdul Rahman ibn Abu Bakr? Then this guy, he started describing the women, which came with 4 and end with 4. This is a description of a homosexual in the hadith. He come with 4 and he go back with 4. So the gay, Aisha, she's asking a gay to find a female gay, which means a man who is a female. So he told her about a gay who is good for that, to marry him to, as a female, to this guy Abdul Rahman. Then the Prophet, he heard that. And then Muhammad, he told him, get out of the Medina to the Hamra, and there you live in that house. Let us use the translation, Google translation, peace be upon him. And now how we will find, where is that? This is the name of the book, page number 292, not 392, 292, volume number 9, Ibn Hajar. And it says, where to see, I'm trying to find where the story is ended now, and the translation is messed up. Find us to marry. Let us search for the word Aisha. Aisha said to, okay. Where is that? It's lost in the translation. I can't even find it. Where is, let me go back to Arabic. I cannot find it in the English translation. It have to be, let us see how many lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, like here, you go here, here you will find it. So it should be in the middle of the page. But I don't find it. See, the translation is coming really messed up. Maybe we should use Google Translation again. You know? So anyway, Aisha, she asked a mukhannath to find a female, supposedly a woman, but this woman obviously is a gay. فوصف امرأة تقبل بأربع وتدبر بثمان. So she come with 4 and she go back with 8. Now you might be confused about that. This is how to describe homosexual. If you go there, here when we say mukhannath, it says the same. إذا أقبلت بأربع. See the translation here? It's almost the same story. So when she comes forward with 4, and between 2 brackets the fold in her stomach, and when she goes back with 8. How? Don't ask me. I don't know what exactly they meant by that. And the Prophet then, he says, don't let this guy come here again. So she was asking him about a gay to marry Abdul Rahman, and the guy, he understood very well what they are looking for, and he offered them a female gay, which is a male. And then Muhammad, he got upset, not because, by the way, of what he said, because somebody made a comment later about it, as we showed you in the book there. Let's continue. Look at this hadith I just found. In the book of As-Suyuti, we cannot open the website. Let us see. I found the website, but it says you cannot open it. Okay. Yeah, it looked like a scam website. Too bad. In this book here, it says that there was 5 people who they are very well known big gays, and one of them is Omar. I could not open the website or the book. There's a hadith about Muhammad being raped by Bahisa. I forgot that one. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe we can find this one in English. Okay, let's see. Maybe we cannot find it in English. Let us choose the Arabic then. Let's see. The book of As-Sirah An-Nabawiyya, Ibn Hisham, volume number 2, page number 401. 2 men, they came to Muhammad and they asked to join him. Salama, the wife, she said to Muhammad, Messenger of Allah, your cousin and your cousin, both like the one cousin from his father's side and your cousin from your mother's side, and your son-in-law, they want to meet you. He said, I don't have a need of them. Regarding my cousin, he is the one who hataka ardi. Hataka al-ard is somebody raping somebody. So, if this man did not rape the daughter of Muhammad or his wife, he raped who? He says, he did rape me. Google translation. Translation is coming very funny. Here it says, you see, he destroyed my honor. Here, like, is my honor, the translation is coming bad. So he is the one who ripped my honor. You know, hatkul ard in Arabic is you raping somebody, having sexual relationship, usually with the woman, she is not yours. Doesn't matter who. A woman, she is not yours. And this is usually happened against your will, mostly. But if the girl, she agrees, still the guy, he will say, well, this guy, he did that to me because he did rip my honor by sleeping with a daughter or with his sister. So either they were raping him, or they were having rape to his own daughter, and this is nowhere in history reported that Muhammad's daughter has been raped. So who is the one who been raped? Let's find more reference. Let's see if we can find this one. Muhammad, he liked to show his legs. The Prophet, he was laying down in my bed, and his thigh is uncovered. Abu Bakr, he came. Muhammad, he did not change the way he is sitting. This is similar to the story about Muhammad was wearing the clothes of Aisha, remember? But now Muhammad is showing all the way to his, at that time they don't wear underwear. Remember that, there's no underwear. So it's all the way showing that to the top of his leg. And Muhammad is welcoming men coming to his house sitting in such a way. So he did not cover, and he stayed in the same state. Abu Bakr is there. Umar, he came, he did not cover. Uthman, he came, and then he covered himself. And he says the reason he did that, because the angels, they will be shy from Uthman. This is a very similar story for the one, but at that time we mentioned to you, it was about him wearing the clothes of Aisha. Let's see different hadith. What about Muhammad? He go to the door and he opened his door. And he is wearing nothing. Welcoming a man inside his house. It says here, from Zayd, etc., etc., Messenger of Allah was in his house. So he sent and knocked at the door. So the Messenger of Allah stood naked, dragging his garment, which means dragging it behind him, but he's naked, he's not wearing anything. And he said, this is the only time I saw him naked. And not only that, he hugged him and he kissed him. He did what? He's totally naked. He hugged him and he kissed him. I don't know how many references I need to keep giving, but it's endless. All of them, they lead us to understand who is Muhammad. He never come with a punishment in the Quran for homosexuality, for gays specifically, for men. He said just hurt them, and if they repent, let them go. How come? Which one is more bad for Islam then? If a woman she sleep with a man, or if a man sleep with a man? Obviously, the lowest punishment or the lowest bad for Islam is a man sleeping with a man. Otherwise, this should be a clear punishment in the Quran for such a thing. But as you see, it says just hurt them. In the case of lesbian, Muhammad, he says if two women, they do commit the act of lesbian, you jail them in their houses, which means they can continue having sex together, but put them together in the same room and don't let them go out until they die. In the same chapter, we are reading verse number 15. This is about lesbian. This is about gays, homosexual, men. And for sure, depend in the translation, and all translation they lie, but there's no Muslim can deny that number 15 is about women, and number 16 is about men. Actually, look, we just changed the translation here. This is Yusuf Ali. It says, if two men among you, now how clear we can make it now? If two men, finally there's one of them, he have decency. If two men among you are guilty of loudness, punish them both. If they repent, let them go. Leave them. Well, how come you don't leave them in case of a different... if a woman, she is having sex with... she is married. What we do, we stone her. So which one is ugly for Islam more? A woman cheating or two men having sex? If a woman, she is having sex and she is single, we whip her back harshly. But if two gays having sex, we hurt them, we insult them. And if they stop, we let them go. So it's so clear that the Quran never considered homosexuality a crime. Otherwise, the punishment should be severe. And as you see, there's not a single time a punishment mentioned. But if a single man have sex with a woman, and both of them they are singles, we have to whip their back 100 times. How many times we whip his back here? Not zero. How many times we whip the back of a woman? 100 times. So which one consider like a bad sin in Islam? The woman and the man who is guilty for illegal sexual, and by the way, the verse never says if they are married or not. It says men and women. This is how stupid the Quran is. Then the Muslim, they says to you, oh, this is about single women. Why? Because the hadith later says something else about married. But as you see, the Quran never mentioned that if a woman, she is married, there's a punishment for her, or a man is married, there's a punishment for him. We knew that there is a verse which is supposed that the goat ate it, but as long as it's not there, it's not there. So if a man and a woman, they have illegal sexual intercourse, flog each one of them 100 stripes. What is the penalty of a homosexual? Why Muhammad never consider it as part of his religion? If you say to me in the hadith, it says this hadith is not even sahih. And even if it's sahih, is Muhammad correcting the Quran? Or maybe because the Quran is a book of deception and the Quran don't dare to offend the society, because the society around Muhammad and Muhammad himself was a homosexual. Not a single verse in the Quran telling us to punish homosexual. The translation here in front of you says punish them. In Arabic it says فَآذُوهُمَا, hurt them. That is the punishment. How? We go to tafsir, we find beat them with sandals. Beat them with sandals. Curse them. Insult them. Shaming them. Beat them with sandals. So if a woman is having sex with a man, we beat the hell of them by a long belt made from leather, the one we beat the animal with it at that time. 100 times will kill you. Many people don't survive it. They die from pain. Unless the beating is done in Indonesia, where the sheikh, he was committing fornication, they were whipping him by a feather. Like, because he is their sheikh. 100 times. If a female and male had fornication, and a homosexual, the punishment for him is beat him with sandals. Curse him, shame him, which means you do not need to beat him with sandals, just curse him, shame him. Or throw your sandal at them. I don't know. In this case, I mean, a homosexual, he might get horny for that. So when somebody says he have a religion, obviously Islam is not a religion. And it's so clear that Muhammad's behavior is very strange and very weird. And 99.9% he is a homosexual. And not to mention that Muhammad, he promised Muslim in heaven that he will have sex with images. And he promised men and women to have sex with those images. And the images is images of men. Let me find the hadith. I forgot to mention this one. Actually, I have a debate, many debates before, in case you remember, with Muslims. And the Muslim, they said to me, so what the problem? In heaven, there is no sin. In heaven, you know, they can be homosexual. What the problem? What is exactly the problem? He is going for sure agree with the man. He want to have sex with him. There's no problem with Muhammad saying that. Huh? Okay, isn't it your prophet? Isn't it your prophet? He said that in the heaven there's a market, and this market there's images of men and women.
Sure, no problem.
And you know, if you wish to have sex with the with any image, men or women, you go right away and you enter the image and you have sex with it. Read the hadith for me, please.
Okay.
Here we go.
What is the problem?
The problem is that in the heaven of Allah, it's granted for you. Even there's a market in heaven where you can go to the market. In the mall, there's nothing but images of men and women, but the customers are men, as you see in the hadith. So whenever a man he wish a desire of an image, but images are images of men and women. So when a Muslim man have a desire of any image, he enter it to have sex with it. So now if somebody, what the problem is, you go in the heaven in Las Vegas. Okay, we are walking in Las Vegas. You saw an image of Michael Jackson. You will have sex with Michael Jackson. Huh?
The heaven is not the earth. Are you saying this is a sin?
So having
This
sex
is
with
bad.
having sex with Michael Jackson in heaven for you as a man is not a sin, correct?
My friend, are you saying this is a sin?
For me, yes, it's
bad?
a sin. It's a sin. Yeah, it's a big sin. For me, it's a
Because
sin.
you
I'm a
are
Christian.
stupid.
Huh?
In the heaven, there is no sin. You will never be judged in the heaven.
Okay. If Muhammad is not a homosexual, why he promised his men a heaven of homosexual? This Muslim, we heard him, and we have another video. The guy, he said, so what the problem? What the problem if a man have sex with a man? In heaven there is no sin. He repeat the same thing. What? He said to me, the Christian prince, why you don't want to understand? In heaven there is no sin. I said, what if somebody want to have sex with you? No problem. What if somebody want to have sex with the prophet? No problem. The Quran says, whatever you desire, you will have. Any desire. Actually, Muhammad, he says, whatever forbidden in this earth is going to be lawful for you in heaven. Can you believe it? I say to the guy, what about somebody who want to have sex with his daughter? He said, it's okay. With his mother, it's okay. There's no sin in heaven. They keep repeating for me, saying there's no sin in heaven. What's wrong with you? What if somebody want to have sex with the prophet? He said, so what problem? Whatever you wish. Let me see if I can find the other hadith. Let us see. So you are saying to us, in the heaven of Allah, everybody he have sex with anyone, male, man with man, with your children. What about children? You can have sex with your children too, right? Because whatever you wish. There's many people, they are sick in their mind. There's people, they are sick in their mind. They like to have sex with their children. What do you think about having sex with their children? Do you agree with that in the heaven too? What if somebody decide? What if somebody wish? What if somebody wish to have sex with your son in the heaven of Allah?
It is you who will do it. Know this because all you are thinking is about if in the heaven.
Well, your God Allah, if your God Allah, he says if, isn't it your God Allah? He says if. Your God Allah keeps saying if. How come Allah can see an if? I cannot say if. Here we go. You are the one who say it to me. If he wished to have it, you are the one who used the word if. So you can use it. I cannot use it. Why? Here we go. You are in heaven, and now you like to have sex with the children, and you are saying to me, there's no objection. You Muslim, we can have sex with male and female, children and adult. What if a guy he want to have sex with a donkey? Is it okay?
Can I answer?
Sure, go ahead.
We know that in Islam, the people when he go to heaven, he will not have the same quality as in the earth.
Yeah, you have a lot more ugly quality. Obviously, you became more ugly because you just said to me, in the heaven of Allah, you will turn to be addicted to sex. You have sex with everything on your way. I'm sure if you go to the heaven and you see a hole in the wall, you will put your penis there. Because nothing is forbidden no more. In the earth, you Muslims, you have a fatwa that you can have sex with watermelon. I can show it to you. Watermelon, even watermelon, you have sex with it. So in the heaven, if in the earth you are doing this, in the heaven, what you will do what? You will have sex with watermelon, you will have sex with the fig, you will have sex with the rabbit, you will have sex with the birds, you will have sex with the cats, you will have sex with boys. I mean, there's no limitation in the heaven of Allah. So the heaven of Allah is nothing but a porn palace.
Are you finished?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
You think about sex in the earth because this you need it to live, but in the heaven you have a new creation.
Yeah,
so
but
all
okay.
that you are thinking,
Hmm.
that has nothing to do with the earth.
So why your prophet is promising you all just sex in the heaven? If this doesn't have nothing to do with the earth, why your prophet even he promised you that in the heaven your penis will never go soft and you will f as many as you wish? Why he promised you that the man in the heaven he will have the power of 40 men for bang bang? If this is different creation, or what we've seen that you became more addicted to sex, you are not out of sex, you became worse. So in earth you have a power of 1 man, but in the heaven you need more because you will have the power of 40 men.
Are you finished?
Yeah, each time I say something to you, you say to me, are you finished? But you didn't say anything. Did your God Allah, did your prophet, he promised you the power of 40 men, and he promised you that your penis will never go sleep. Anyway, as you see, we have tons of those debates, and all the Muslims, they say to us, well, there's no problem. In the heaven of Allah, everything is possible because the Quran promises us whatever we wish. It doesn't matter what you wish. Anything you wish. As long you wish it, you will have it. Guaranteed. Sex with your family, sex with your mother, sex with your daughter, it doesn't matter. And here I'm showing you that to show you the quality. If Muhammad is from the quality, different from the quality we are saying, then Muhammad should not be saying what he is promising. He should not. You see, when the Bible says, from their fruit you shall know them, let me find this hadith here. If Muhammad has the quality, which the Muslims they try to spread around, lying about the quality of their prophet, then the quality prophet, he will come with a quality statement, and the quality statement will have with the quality teaching. And the quality teaching have to come with the quality practicing. But as you see, Muhammad neither has a quality of practicing or ethic or promises can take us anywhere except sexuality, and even sex with men. This is a hadith which is very clear in front of us. Muslims, they try to wash their hands from it. They say to you, this is da'if. I can show you from different reference saying it is sahih. So da'if is sahih, and sahih is da'if when they want. What kind of a prophet he promised you? That there is a market of images, Playboy magazines, and the images are images of men and women, and if a man he wish, he will sleep with the image. I forgot to mention, maybe I will close with this one. Muhammad, he claimed that he'd been raped by a bunch of black people. According to Muhammad, a bunch of black men, they start riding Muhammad, and they were totally naked. They spent the whole day riding Muhammad. A Muslim might say to you, he is lying. Well, let us go and see. This is the book of Musnad Ahmad, very number 1, page number 299. And the story here says that Muhammad, he arrived to a place, and he found there people who they are so black and naked. There's no clothes on them.
He could not see their private parts. They are naked. They are tall. They are skinny. And they start riding Muhammad, one after one. And Muhammad was reading Quran for them while they were riding him. And then they came around the other guy, the companion of Muhammad. And he was terrified of them. And Muhammad, when he came back to this guy, which means the guy is not there with them, with Muhammad, he was so heavy, which means he cannot move, so tired, and he was on pain. Why he was in pain? Mimma rakibuh, because of how many times they did ride him. You might say Christian Prince is making a lie now. Let us use Google translation. Translate. Musnad Ahmad, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, volume number 1, page number 399. We go down here. The translation is saying they are like zombies. That is a false translation. You know, it's talking about they are black. Stupid Google. So they are black and they are naked and they have no clothes on them. As you see, they have no clothes on them. And the guy, he is describing what Muhammad told him. You know, Muhammad is the one who been ridden by them. They were tall and they have little flesh, which means they are skinny. And I was frightened of them. But look what it says here. Here we go. And when the Messenger of Allah, he came back, he was heavy with pain, or almost like, you know, he is like just dying from pain. From what they have rode, they did rode him. They did rode Muhammad all day long, one after one. We don't know how many there are. All what they know, that they are black, they are tall, they are skinny, and they were wearing nothing. And they were riding Muhammad. And Muhammad, he came back, and he was suffering from pain because of how much they rode him. He said, I find me heavy. Or he said, the Messenger of Allah is in pain, is heavy. Do you see it? Translation here is not good. But what we can do, I mean, this is the only way to share with you. I mean, oh, you see, find me one thing about this man. It doesn't make, it's not wrong. He been raped, according to him. Black people raping him, riding him all day long. Why black people will ride Muhammad? You tell me. If you're a Muslim, you tell me. Muslim, they claim that those are genie. Why they are genie? Or because they are black? They are genie and they are black. And they are human. I mean, what I will mention and what I will not mention, it is endless. This guy, he have a sexual desire for children. He have sexual desire for men. You see, why I want to promise men they will have sex with men unless I like it? Why the Quran mentioned that you will have boys who they are white like pearls around you? What is exactly the joy of that? Why they are boys? Why they are so white? Why they are like pearls? Why we are describing the beauty of those boys? What that will do to a Muslim in heaven? According to Muslims, those are the bar boys. The bar of wine served by boys. A Muslim, he go and sit in the bar to enjoy his night in the heaven. The guy who is, there's 80,000 of them, by the way, 80,000 for each Muslim, and this is the lowest reward. I mean, for me, one thing is not sexual, is not horribly wrong, is not ugly and disgusting. Why anyone would approve child abuse? Those are boys. And they are like pearls. What is exactly the joy you are giving me there? Which one is going to be better? A woman serving you the wine, or a boy and he is white like pearl? Just ask yourself a question. You are in the heaven of Muhammad and you are in the bar of Allah, because Allah obviously is Satan. And now you are going to ask the bar guy for wine. He's a boy. And he's so white. And he's so good looking. Even the different verse says that they will not bleed. The Muslim, they will say to you, oh, here they mean they will not get drunk. So the promise of heaven leads us to understand that Muhammad is a homosexual. The behavior on earth proved to us that Muhammad is a homosexual. Muhammad even cannot have sex. He liked to be done, not to be doing. How we prove it? He have 0 kids. The Muslim, they say to you that Muhammad, he have Fatima as a daughter. That is a big fat lie. He have 0 kids. Those are the daughters of Khadija. How come Muhammad, he have a bunch of kids from Khadija, but suddenly he cannot have kids no more? Those are the kids of Khadija before Muhammad. She married 2 husbands before him. And Khadija, she cannot have kids no more. She's way older than him. When the hadith says that the Prophet, he imagined himself having sex, but in fact he never did, that is showing us that Muhammad is trying to avoid to have sex with his wives. He married those women, not to sleep with them, but to spread his religion. Even the Muslim, they say to you that Muhammad was doing political, business. So he married a woman so her tribes or her family will support him. But you don't have sex with them. Even the hadith exposed Muhammad. When a woman, she came to Muhammad and she said that she is having orgasm, the wife of Muhammad, she said, do women have orgasm? The wife of Muhammad never, ever had orgasm. She don't know even what orgasm means. Do women have this charge? Salama, she said. Imagine your wife, you are married her for many years, and she never learned that women can have orgasm. Why? This is his wife, it's not the neighbor. Imagine the neighbor, she have orgasm from a dream. The wife, she have Muhammad himself in the bed and she could not ever have orgasm. And she could not believe it, that women, they have this charge. And for sure here, Muhammad, he said something stupid. He says that the man or the boy or the child resemble the parents based on that orgasm. If the woman, she comes first, the baby will be a girl. If the boy, if the man came first, the baby will be a boy. So always, all streets, all reference lead us to one thing. Muhammad is not straight. There's no way a prophet of God, he promises men and boys in heaven unless he is a homosexual. That is impossible. You promise them what they dream of and what you dream of. When somebody come to you, let us say you have a birthday, and he come to you and he have a gift. A religious person, he will come to you and he will bring you a religious book. Or maybe these days, maybe a videotape of, you know, Bible lecturer. A guy who like games, he will be you a CD of games. A guy who like food, he will bring you food. A guy who like porn, he will bring you porn. And that is Muhammad. He is the man of porn. He lived for porn. And he is nothing but porn. And no way that he was a straight man. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Shaving his body, eyeliner, be like a woman, men kiss him down his belly, showing his body to men, kissing men when he was naked, homosexual in his house. He never made a punishment for homosexual in the Quran. And the punishment which is coming later, nobody knows who is the one who added. And I challenge the Muslim to show me one gay he was punished in the time of Muhammad. Because if it's true, it's going to be in the Quran. How come this God in the Quran, he have time to tell us funny, stupid stories about the ant of Solomon? But he don't have time to make a clear penalty of what homosexual is. The only place the Quran confirms something, it was a story from the Bible where it's the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. My opinion, that Muhammad is a homosexual person to the bone. He married women as a cover-up, as part of his business. If you go and check all the women he married from, he was using them. But I don't believe really he can have sex with them. You see, Aisha, she was at the age of 6. If Muhammad really had sex with her, he would kill her. There's no way he did. Muhammad, he go and he spend the night there, but he don't have sex with them. And even during the night, we will find that Salman al-Farisi is there. Dihya al-Kalbi is there. And even he claimed that the angel Jibreel is the same as Dihya as a look. Just to give excuse to himself why this man is staying late in his house alone. How I can explain it? The answer is very simple. I always say that Jibreel is Dihya al-Kalbi, and he come to me in the image of this person. So anytime anyone, even my wives, if they come inside the room and they find this guy in my room, they will not question what the guy is doing. the angel of God, which is an ancient angel, exists before Islam. He decides suddenly to take the image of a man who is the most close boyfriend to Muhammad, and he is the most handsome boy in the tribe of Quraysh. He could not find any image to take for himself except the image of the boyfriend of Muhammad. So now we have two Dahi al-Kalbi, the real one and the angel. Who want to believe in that? It was just an excuse for Muhammad to stay with the man alone, and nobody questioned in case somebody came and they saw him with him. I hope we learned something good for today, and feel free to download the video. As you know, I don't keep my videos for long. I will keep this one maybe for 3-4 hours, and then we will take it down. Thank you all for being here. May the Lord bless you. Until we see you soon again. Christ is Lord, and Muhammad obviously is the last one to be called the prophet of God. He has 0 prophecies. After all what the Muslims they say, we can debunk them one by one. They have 0 ethic. From their fruits you shall know them. Talk is cheap. Fruit only what count. Thank you.
But I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were pagan.
Quran is mentioned. If this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
That we believe without understanding.
The brother asked a very important question, that most of the scholars say that listening to music, watching movies, and most of the television programs, they're haram. So how can we have fun? Let me tell you, brother, at the outset that having fun is permitted in Islam as long as the fun is halal fun.
That the standard narrative has holes in it.
The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ears.
I really do think Jesus was crucified and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean, that is, after all, why they crucified him,